Hi, my viewers. I'm Tay, and this is tayshimadabs, and today I would like to talk to you about the disabled stoners, the title of my first episode. Why do I call the title of the episode Disabled Stoners? Well, I am a disabled stoner for one. For the last 5 years and counting, I've been diagnosed by my doctors in the Colorado State area. My medical conditions I'll explain a little later in future episodes, but please subscribe if you like this video and like if you think you could share it with others that might find it informative. Thank you. I believe the only reason why the Amendment 64 passed is because of the large voter base are disabled stoners. Without disabled stoners, we wouldn't have a legalization weed movement at all. I don't think the government would care if a lot of healthy people that like to get stoned voted. They still always twist around the laws, redo a manipulation within the fine print of the disclaimers after people vote. It's like you give your first acknowledgement saying, yeah, we voted, we want this, but we didn't specify how we want you to let us have this without regulating dosing monitoring or whatever censorship that the government's been laying more laws down on Colorado's residents. What caused my disability to become a stoner instead of taking the pharmaceuticals that the doctors can prescribe for my chronic pain? Well, there's a lot of reasons. One, the pharmaceutical prescribed pain relievers or Flexerol or anything that stops my condition is not inducing an appetite. It makes me starve internally to where my body is eating away at itself because I'm not able to digest the food. And that is what I also describe as other my debilitating conditions that I will get to a little later. But one that I am addressing is the gastroparesis. It is an invisible chronic disease of starvation. When the sphincter muscle is paralyzed or is about to be paralyzed, you can't eat solid foods. You can't have alcohol. You can't even eat greasy foods. I can't even digest rice, sprouts, not even Betty Crocker's cake mix anymore, not even cupcakes. I'm lucky if I can get down a sugar cookie when the diet says I cannot have that either. So far, my clinical condition is disabled due to a left side nerve damage under my ribs, and this accident that I had in September 3rd at 1:30 p.m. in 2015, I was hit by a truck when I was driving straight westbound on 8th Avenue when the truck ran the red light on Sims coming northbound from south. Completely a long story, I'll get into that later. But it has left side impact damaged my left rib lower area to where I have nerve damage by a doctor's diagnosis. The damage is affecting my left lung to breathe. I feel lightheaded, I feel dizzy spells, and also besides the left side of my rib is my lung connected to my stomach muscle, which is effectively giving me the symptoms of gastroparesis, which I consider kind of anxiety eating disorder. I can't control anxiety yet, and I'm still fighting to find certain edible foods that might help reduce my anxiety so I can continue to just digest food, finish getting it through the digestive tract to where when it comes out of the secretion back in the toilet, it's not a number 3. And I call number 3 a diarrhea movement because number 2 and number 1, that's normal. But when you constantly have a number 3, you're always drinking water, you're not getting enough vitamins to your brain, your heart, your bones, and everything is just running out. And my body is clawing at any protein, nourishment it can find throughout any fat cell, any muscle. So I have lost muscle atrophy, a lot of fat, and my weight does decrease within 5 pounds every night I sleep. And it's going up and down between 145 pounds when I started this month in October 3rd. Today I've weighed myself and I've already dropped 10 pounds. I'm at 136 pounds as of today. I'm documenting my journey as a vlog, so not only everyone can learn from what I'm going through and they may understand and relate, but I can show my doctor that I really am needing him to pay attention to give me a medical card. So what happens is that I'm describing the stomach pain, and I'm waiting for the doctor to listen to me so I can get a medical card. But as I am trying to explain how much my body's eating itself, the reason why I cannot get an appetite is because I'm chronically in nausea. It has not stopped for the past 10 years. And I couldn't figure out why years ago, before 2014, I was diagnosed with gastroparesis with a 2.5 hour emptying stomach delay. It was more aggravated worse after the September 3rd, 2015 auto injury, because everything else is all shooken up. I have degenerative arthritis in both my knees, and I have to really take careful movement steps because every time I walk, I could feel lightheaded, I feel short of breath, I feel nauseated, spells I really can't control. And what's more focused in my attention to make this video a little comfortable is that I do try to fight eating as much as I can in the middle of the night with my insomnia that's chronic as well because of this debilitating condition. And my idiopathic gastroparesis versus my invisible arthritis, carpal tunnel, the fact that I'm nausea constantly, and I try to take their medications. It never ever induces my stomach to relax to appetite so I can grasp on the food, break down the enzymes, and try to get a normal movement. It's been that difficult. So every time people would question me, how can you lose 5 pounds a night? Well, I'm eating what I can in my insomnia in the middle of the night, and I'll try to fit whatever I can eat in small, soft, shredded foods. Sometimes it has to be liquid diet juice, diluted juice. Other times it could be a little far worse, to where I'm drinking soup more than actual eating shredded food. I can't have red meats also. And it's a little embarrassing to try and make new friends because they don't really understand my condition. And I remembered, this is about disabled stoners is how the episode's called, so I'll talk about a little why weed is helping me. My doctor and my dietitian, I was nervous explaining to them because I didn't want to feel persecuted or embarrassed by their judgment. But I go to Kaiser Permanente. My doctor and my dietitian are somewhat on board understanding why I use a joint, or I have to smoke a blunt, dab, or try to use an apparatus glass piece in order to get the amount in my lungs. I don't know why they were confused, because you have to inhale weed. You don't digest weed if your stomach's not going to allow it. So I had to explain to them, yeah, weed is going to go through my lungs, not through my stomach, because I'm going to inhale it to get through faster into my bloodstream, to my brain, to relax my nervous system, to tell my stomach muscle right here in the actual sphincter muscle before the first intestines, before the second layer of intestines, to just stay chill. Process the enzymes, relax, don't paralyze, and just work through whatever little I can digest and break down in enzymes till it can be a number 1 or 2 movement. I had a lot of nervousness, but using weed, it does stop my chronic nausea, it stops my chronic insomnia, stops my chronic pain, induces my appetite, relaxes my entire system so I can make a normal stool movement and go 1 and 2 like a normal person. I talked with other people at Denver in the common park area that hang out and smoke weed as much as they can, and it's usually in the day or the afternoon. They're homeless, so it's not always easy to find them, but if you know the spots, you can find them and talk to them. I talked to one girl who is living either with family or is homeless for other reasons. She said she has gastroparesis, but she has so many connections to talk to friends and other family members to give her dabs, weed supply, so she actually reduced her gastroparesis down to where it's non-existent. And that's where I wanted to experiment in a vlog to see if I can make my body go on that step as well. I'd rather step on weed and digest and get back onto a normal path than taking pharmaceutical drugs that doesn't induce an appetite for me to eat that makes me go rely on the hospital further. Why am I not smoking on this first episode? Well, I didn't state it earlier, but I am honestly going to tell you on my description of my channel, I am legally broke. I'm on a fixed income, so I have to keep it on the DL as well as budget, because I put all of my expenses, my rent, my utilities, anything of food on the first priority, and my weed shopping is last, what's ever left over out of my budget. Because in order for me to process whatever I can do, think, and keep moving throughout my day, I'm kind of relying on any leftover weed from earlier this month to carry me over through the dry spells that I'm experiencing right now, because I am in a dry spell. I have no weed. I have nothing. I don't have any family. I don't have any trusted friends. And I have no connections to get the access that most stoners that I see on the YouTube channel show that they do have those connections. I'm one of the very few, or maybe majority, of the state of Colorado residents that don't have that kind of connection, and I starve as much as I try not to. I do the best I can to either pawn my stuff at a pawn shop, recycle cans, or I go down to anywhere to do free chair massage to get tips. And if I have the strength, which probably leaves me maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half if I'm not going to faint, just to do 10-minute chair massage on someone and then hope to get a $5 to a $10 tip if I'm very good at it. I still work on my massage therapy skills. It's just a little exhausting from the fatigue of the debilitating medical condition I'm suffering from. And I wanted to also address that the glass pieces I do use for smoking weed to inhale, as well as dab to relax my digestion, my chronic nausea, my chronic pains, and so forth. I use this song. It is a discontinued song. They don't make these anymore. So I pride this as my very, very antique piece. I do take care of it. I haven't cleaned it, it's obvious. And I have been dry for the last 2.5 weeks, coming up to 3 weeks when it's about November 1st. Then I will make another vlog video showing how it affects me, since it has been a very long dry spell. And every time I do have a dry spell, it does affect people differently when you take certain strains of weed, certain extracts of dab, or edibles. So I will document my journey this way. I'm a little bit nervous because it's my first episode, so please bear with me. I'm new to YouTube, and I'm new to the channel phase, and I very much would like to someday be a sponsor and promote and review certain weed products, glass artist pieces. Oh my goodness, just seeing those glass pieces just makes me want to, like, I want one, but I'm so broke I can't buy one at this time. So the situation for me to even afford dabs takes about 3 months of saving, because they're so expensive being extracts. So I'm barely getting by each month on flower buds, and those deals can vary. They go between $20 an eighth, sometimes close to $20 for a gram. I just have to keep looking for discounts and deals within my budget after I've taken care of all of my basic expenses needs. Well, that's all I wanted to share on my very first episode of Disabled Stoners. Thank you so much for watching tayshimadabs, my new channel. Next episode, I will be talking more about idiopathic disease and how it affects me. If you really like the way I presented my video, and I'm still working on the details, please like, subscribe, and share, and comment below. I'd like your input so I can make it a little bit more better for you, the viewers, to understand where I'd like to share my video artwork more, as well as document my vlog on my medical journey. Thank you for watching.
Wow.